And here we go again. The show is being canceled. Yes, it is Labor Day weekend, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, I'm still here. I am getting so sick and tired of hearing these bunch of brain dead barbarians running around screeching about how the show's doomed because it didn't do well on the overnights in the UK. Folks, all right, people are going to get angry for what I'm about to say, but it's the truth. The overnights in the UK don't mean jack shit anymore. The show's gone worldwide. It's been scoring in the top 10 in nearly every area it's in. The views are doing pretty well. And it's like, it's being seen worldwide. So when you're talking about ratings in one country, you sound like an imbecile. Not to mention, with the latest thing about RTD coming out and saying, well, season 3, blah, blah, that decision's probably not going to be made till season 2 airs, yada, yada, bang, bang. It's like, folks, Disney has every right to do that. Because, yes, season 1 did pretty damn good. But what happens if season 2 comes out and it's a crock of shit? That's why they wait. Because other shows have done this in the past where they'll give them, like, say, I know Babylon 5, when it first got signed up, they got the first 2 seasons, like, boom, right off the bat. Now, season 1 ran kind of slow, but season 2 really picked up. And then sure enough, bam, it was renewed until, then there was the jumping around that happened later. And it just freaks me out that people are still going on and on and on and on about this. The show is not Roont. The show is not canceled. The show is not gone anywhere. And here's the thing. And here's the most obvious fact that they jump all over and never bother to admit, other than the fact that half of these guys who are running around saying this look like, their hair's all slicked back, probably because they just came out of their mom's vagina and don't know jack shit about what they're talking about. Me, I've been studying, ratings, views, and all that for going on, over a decade now. Because it became a necessity. Especially, remember back in 2017 when the show was dead? Show's dead. It's ruined. And then, sure enough, no episode under Chibnall Whittaker was ever good enough. Oh my God, I'm Nostradamus. Like it's called self-fulfilling prophecy. It reminds me of a story I heard back in the day, and I can't remember which book this was out of. But it's supposedly a true story. There was this prophet who lived, I think it was over in Greece, way back in the day. We're talking, back in, the big days of the Parthenon and all that happy horse shit. Socrates and whatnot. Well, he predicted that he was going to die on a certain day. And well, sure enough, years go by, the day comes, and as the day winds to a close, the guy, now please, I don't recommend this because I'm going to say that evil word, committed suicide to protect his reputation as a prophet. Now, as you all know, a lot of these guys are walking around higher than kites, higher than, meth addicts on a weekend binge, higher than, anybody's ever been in any bar, on any type of alcohol, because of the fact that the Acolyte got canceled. Oh, look, we got one right. One right. Remember when the last season of The Mandalorian, it's too woke. They've taken the focus from Din's character and given it. There was supposed to be a storyline where, forgive me if I forgot her name, Katie Sackhoff's character, and it's going to hit me in a minute. And then it's going to be like, someone will tell me in the comment box. Her character and the Mando were supposed to hook up. There was supposed to be this love scene. Well, it was just going to be a kissing scene between Din and, I want to say Sabine, isn't it? Tell me if I got the name right. I'm going off the top of my head. Because I keep thinking of Sabine Wren, but that's that chick from Rebels. I know it ain't Sabine Wren because that's a chick from Rebels, you know, for my Sakatono. But I'm sorry. I tried watching Ahsoka. It bored the living crap out of me. I don't even think I made it to Bo-Katan. That's right. I always get her and Sabine mixed up. Maybe it's because I'm thinking of the lady, you know, Obi-Wan Kenobi was after. Remember? What was the one Mandalorian lady who was in charge of the like I said, because it's been years since I watched any of that. Satine or something like that. You know, it was supposed to be all right. Look, this is based off some things I've heard. Rey was supposed to be her Kenobi and that one chick's child that they kept off the books, which is why Kenobi also kept his mouth shut about Leia and Anakin. But they decided to change it to Palpatine so they could run Ian McDiarmid in there to try to save their dead franchise. But that's my opinion. You don't see me making endless videos to make money about it. Like I said, the Acolyte, I had no dog in that fight because the second in the trailer I saw light whip, I was out of there. Sorry. All right. Yeah, we're going to talk about that briefly too. You know, Doctor at the Proms happened, of course. You know, Catherine Tate hosting. A little cute little bit there about, you know, with Anita Dobson. You know, that strange, you know, weird character she plays. That creepy old woman. Yeah, also known as Mrs. Dr. Brian May. Ultra guitarist, lead guitarist to Queen, and also an astrophysicist. What an amazing dude. Okay, well, you see, that's the proper environment for twist at the end. Play it at the Proms. Don't waste 2.5 minutes you could have wasted on plotline on your show. For a completely unnecessary musical number. But we're not going back into that. So lots of cutesy stuff going on, Doctor Who at the Proms. But okay, let's get back to where I was at. Okay, for you folks who have been curious, yeah, I never watched The Acolyte. Like I said, I don't have any dog in that fight. I saw Light Whip and I was like, okay, this is going to be too damn stupid and outrageous. That's my opinion. I was like, I'm not even going to watch this. Because if Jedi don't like using blasters, a whip is perfectly acceptable. Really? Okay. Thank you, Mark. I was about to talk about that. You jackass. All right. Sorry. A domestic made me call you that. September 11th. Could they have picked a more morbid date to send me back to work? September 11th. You know, another date in American history which will live in infamy. That is, if that half that story is true. And we won't go into that because I could spend hours on that. About, you know, how the Newtonian laws of physics all magically disappeared in how many places. Just like they did during the Kennedy assassination. But that's a whole other ball of wax. Okay. When Newtonian physics suddenly changes, some shit going on. Okay. Either the master, the Mara, or somebody got it in for you, or, well, the Black Guardian. Okay, Mark, I don't get political, but I'm going to tell you this. We Americans have now a distinct choice. Originally, it was Geriatric Park. And now it's Tweedledum or Tweedledummer, and I can't figure out which one's Tweedledummer. I'm sorry. I gave up on presidential elections and all that a long time ago. It's a sham. No matter who you put in that office, it's going to be the same shit being run by the forces outside and in and around Congress for the next how many years. Nothing's going to change. They'll make it look like something's changed. They're good at that. But in reality, it's one big shit show. I've gotten to drive my Jeep officially, I think, 3 times now.
Twice.
Was it twice? I could have swore there was another time in there.
Yep. Well, 3 if you want to count the parking lot.
Well, yeah, that was technically driving it. So.
Okay. So 3 times.
Yes, I am driving. As you can see. Ooh, look, I can do this
And
again.
just to let you guys know, him going back to work on September 11th is not as morbid as me having open heart surgery on December 7th, 9 years ago.
I know, kind of weird, ain't it? Look at this. Look at this. Oh, look at that. I can do this now. Oh,
he moves his arm better than I move mine.
And I can go like this too, but it doesn't matter. Okay.
And Mark, there is no BS of him controlling me.
So September 11th, we'll be back out in the parking lot, starting away again.
I'm right here. I'm cooking right now for tomorrow.
Yeah, get back in the kitchen, domestic.
Bite me, bitch.
That's our affectionate way. That's our affectionate way of saying yes, sir. But all right. But I had to come on because after that announcement with SFX, let me see if I can bring it up because I saved the picture. Oh, great. I even hit the wrong button. Hang on a second. I have that picture around here somewhere because I screen capped it. All right, here it is on the. Okay, now I got to zoom up because it's a crock, man. It's a crock. All right, yeah. So I can read this. Okay, from an upcoming SFX magazine interview, Russell T. Davies has said about Who Series 16 Season 3 commissioning, quote, "It's an industry decision. It's like any business. These things take time. I think the decision will come after the transmission of Season 2. All right, you see, here's the thing. Disney is in deep shit. Doctor Who's not in deep shit. Disney is in deep shit. The only hit that they've had after a string of flops is Deadpool and Wolverine, which, yes, I have now seen. It was a good movie. It was, I can't complain. A lot of, heroes brought back who should have already had movies again, such as Blade. Elektra, funny how, Jennifer, what's her name, can now act in this movie, but she was like a wooden statue in the original Elektra movie. And not to mention the bad CGI graphics, the tattoo man that they stole right out of Palladium's Rift game, with the tattoo powers. I'm sitting there going, that's a tattoo man, it's a magi, tattoo man. It's like the powers are even right there out of the book. I hope, the guys in charge of Palladium had a little talk with them about that, but unless there's a whole rights thing, well, I don't know, but I have not seen Alien Romulus. I lost all interest in Alien, Predator, and all that stuff, especially Terminator, after what they've done to that franchise after Salvation. Okay, it just, it was a great, Deadpool and Wolverine was a good movie. I enjoyed it, but I can't say it wasn't my favorite of the one so far. That's a hardcore, decision between Deadpool 1 and Deadpool 2. Yep. And you hear how much they're paying Downey to do Doctor Doom? I heard it was in to the tune of $90 million. Right there, that's more than most movies got made for a decade ago or 2 decades ago. I'm like, what? Okay. It's kind of like when they paid... they did that sequel, I think, The Terms of Endearment, or so it was called The Evening Star or whatever. And they paid Jack Nicholson literally to come in. It was like $20-something million just to come in there for one day. And he was done and out in under an hour or two. And it was like a 5 or 10 minute segment in the movie. And I'm like, hell, but look at how much that guy's made off Batman. Yeah, the worst thing that's going to happen is Disney says no because Disney's going to play safe. Let's say Disney decides to play, conservative or safe. The only reason they wouldn't renew Doctor Who is because they need the money somewhere else. Because Doctor Who, as far as we know, is doing pretty well on the Disney Channel. That's why I'm trying to figure out Doctor Who's rent. Guys, do you know how much money Doctor Who alone provides the British economy these days? I was watching a channel the other day. Like I said, I think I went over this in a previous live stream. The BBC has lost. Yeah, it was The BBC license fee number dropped by like 500,000 people out of 25 million. That means that we're stepping up and showing our protest to that filthy, evil black doctor that must go. I'm like, dude, why don't you go out and just do what the American guys did back in the day and burn a cross on somebody's lawn, you jack off racist? My God. First, it was Jody because she's a woman. Then it's, there was Capaldi. That's right, because he was too old. Matt Smith, he was too young. Yeah, I'm not kidding. It's just like, and every, so many years this happens. Have I watched anything good recently? Mayfair Witches wasn't too bad. I'm never going to watch the remake of Interview with the Vampire, especially after I saw the opening bit where he goes, I became a vampire in 1910. No, you didn't. Louis became a vampire in 1791. The only reason they did that is because they wanted to completely change the whole cast around in the ethnic sense, which they're free to do. Like I said, sometimes a change up is good. But then they don't want to discuss that whole thing that happened, from 1860 to 1865 and before. So they just conveniently jumped over it. And that's the whole reason why I will never watch their new version of Interview with the Vampire. They completely, if you're going to rewrite the story to that point, how much shit else have you changed just to save in politically correctness? I don't even want to contemplate it. The light whip. Oh, God. I still can't get over that for, the Acolyte. Like I said, I saw the trailers. I was not impressed. Oh, Carrie Ann Moss made me horny and hard back in the day, so I'm going to make her a Jedi. That's basically what they said in the interviews. So you brought an actor on, not for the fact that, well, Carrie Ann Moss is pretty talented, okay? But you didn't do that just because you liked them in The Matrix. You brought them into your TV series. You didn't look for the actor who was probably going to be best for that role. Ugh. So right there, I knew they were in trouble. Not to mention, you got a first-time showrunner. I think this person was used to be like a secretary. And now I'm going to run a series. Oh, this can't be disaster. Why don't I just go Joe Shit the Ragman from down there in the back of Burger King? The hobo guy down there, who just jumped off the train. You want to start a series? You can run it. Oh. But then again, we were all saying the same thing about Chibnall. It was so worse than he just doesn't know how to run a show. Moffat had no show running experience. Chibnall had ran how many series by the time he took over Doctor Who? See what I mean? It's stuff like that nobody looks up. They just don't bother to look at the facts. And the facts are, the show's on Disney. The show right now, the show's doing not too bad. And as I said, even if Disney turns it down, the BBC are the only ones who can officially cancel Doctor Who. And I've already told you how much money, Doctor Who by itself is bringing into the British economy. Especially since that Brexit thing happened. We won't go over that. Okay. But yeah, we do have a Christmas special coming up. Series 2 is already done and in the can. You'll be getting that next spring. Well, that's what I mean. I don't know why everybody's flipping out about Series 3. Series 3 is like, it's like almost 2 years away at this point. Because, and we talked about this earlier about why they filmed Series 1 and 2 close together, because this way, if the lead actors have something else they want to go do, other projects, they can, and they still got plenty of time to come back and do the show and have it out on time. Millie's been on holiday for a long time. She's my little sun-baked Disney princess. I have images of her and the nude companion together. Yeah. Making great scenes. Yeah. Yeah, that's all it is. And of course, yeah, speaking of Shooty doing a play, hell, Jodie Whittaker just landed on him.
Shooty's in Paris hanging out.
Yeah.
I seen the pictures of his bare chest yesterday.
Well, you're not supposed to be looking at that, huh?
Hey, he's got those big old chests sticking right out there.
Well, you were supposed to be blind after that, after you took on the perfect husband.
Where?
This is the Dr. Freedom Show. Back to the kitchen. All right. But I'm not a misogynist. But yeah, Jodie Whittaker's already landed more roles, and I don't know, than Matt Smith did in how many years. It's like, but she's this evil, talentless woman who's killed the show for everybody. And oh, man. I have severely got a dust in here. I'm not kidding. I have been sitting here for 2 months. Now, the only reason I pretty much stay here is because I could still put my arm up to the keyboard. So that's why my character in like Fallout 76 went from, it still freaks me out that I had to get onto another, I got onto Steam to get back into Fallout 76, but they still had my character saved. I was like, oh, great. I got to bring up a new character. I got to do this. Nope. My character of Winston Marlboro was intact. That's a little joke thing I do since I quit smoking. Plus, even before I quit smoking, where I would name characters after cigarette brands just for, like back when I played Final Fantasy VII, I had Salem, Winston, Newport, Benson, Hedges. I named all the characters after cigarette brands just for shits. We're about to be wiped out by the evil Marlboro. That's what I mean. Jodie's career has since Doctor Who. Yet she's this mean, evil, temptress banshee who is sent in to destroy all of us. Well, you can see how the arm's doing. Look, Now, the collarbone has, the crack is gone, okay? But what they wanted to do is they told me not to go. Originally, I thought I was going back last week. But they said, look, we've got all this new bone that's come in over here. And we want to make sure that's calcified and properly ready, because I told them, look, when I work, I do a lot of stuff with my hands, and it's like just the one part I do, the oil pump, it's a 5-pound part. So I didn't want to risk messing that up again. So they said, yeah, go back September 11th. So if you've come in late, September 11th is the magic date. We'll be back on daily run. We'll be back, every morning. Except we'll be from the Jeep, which does not have the clandestine studio lighting that the previous car did. Yes, I do miss the previous car. Sadly, I had just gotten that car April 1st. And then July 8th, the accident happened. It was a total, deal. But all I could keep thinking was, if this accident had happened before I got this car, I was in a sedan. Now, while the sedan was a BMW sedan and had a lot of great safety equipment, that truck would have been literally almost over me if I was in a sedan. Things would not. That's why I keep telling people, don't think about the small victories. That's why I always said, did you make it work today? Safe? Did you make it through your day without being hurt? That day, I didn't make it home. I was in the hospital for 2 days. 4 broken ribs and a broken collarbone. And I was very lucky the collarbone did not separate. It didn't go, because if it had, that was going to mean multiple surgeries to put that back together. And all I can say is this: it was not a pleasant time for the first couple of weeks, because I had to take, pain pills and all that, which I didn't take as many as I thought I would. But the nurse practitioner and then were very impressed with how fast my collarbone healed. Because originally they were saying I wasn't going back till October. And when they saw the latest x-ray, they're like, what the hell? And I'm like, well, shit. I got something on my body that's working right, if not a head. Ugh. Except for my heart. Like I said, some days I feel like an old Toyota because everything else is falling apart and rusting apart around the engine right here. You know, even the brain's getting a little soft, but the heart's still going strong. Well, but trust me, if I told you what my blood pressure shot up to immediately after the accident, I'm just happy to be here and be with you. I was so far into stroke heart attack territory, I might as well have built a foundation and started a homestead. When you hear that your upper and lower numbers on your blood pressure are both over 200, and they expect you to calm down after hearing this, look, just be calm and all that. It's 200 or 250 something over to it. Like, I'm supposed to be calm? What? Somebody better give me drugs. So September 11th is the day. I'll be going back to work. I don't know why. I still get nervous. You know, even when I'm going back to something, I know where the hell I'm going. They always have that little bit of fear, I guess. I don't know. But like I said, I've pretty much been doing this. Sitting at home for 2 months, letting the bone heal, absorbing data, playing Fallout 76, which I became seriously addicted to, but it helped keep my mind off, you know, the pain and stuff in the shoulder and the ribs. And trust me, I got off very lucky because it was like 2 tanks colliding. Yes, I have been receiving benefits for my time off, so we aren't doing too badly. Yeah, that's right. Thank you for reminding me because I was about to completely forget mentioning that. That filming for the spinoff began in the UK a few days ago. Russell Tovey already on scene. Russell Tovey seen shirtless, apparently on one set. And no, so it doesn't look like he's going to be one of the Sea Devils. And I don't think they're going to bring him in as Alonzo Frame either. Okay, I think it's going to be a new character. And I've seen several of Russell's performances in the past and like Being Human and stuff like that. So I know whatever they put him in, he's going to be pretty good. Matter of fact, for those of you familiar with the Undead books, if I was going to cast somebody in the role of Dave, it would be Russell Tovey. He's the right age, he's the right build, and I know he could do the role. If you're not listening to the Undead series of books by R.R. Haywood, and no, I'm not being paid to tell you this, read it.
There is one thing after his accident I wish I could have got somebody to videotape.
Get out.
Me pushing his big ass in a wheelchair 2 weeks after his accident.
You did it gladly, my chariot.
Yeah, but my shoulder's still freaking killing me from it.
Well, that's a long story, but yeah, she ended up pushing my 280-something pound ass in a wheelchair because we had to go to an appointment not even a few days after.
It was 2 weeks after.
And yeah, it was like 2 weeks. Well, yeah, but
so
still,
the
it's hurt like
orthopedic specialist. Yeah.
So they could, look at this, prod me, poke me, and all this shit. And then they closed the one entrance. And here I am. My knee had been banged, but thankfully nothing serious happened to that. It got better. My knee has always been a bit tricky. So I'm walking on a cane. My left arm's in a sling. I can't, and even when I yawn, it hurts like a mother at that point. And they expect me to go in this door, go all the way to the other side of the building. And I'm literally limping in pain, and I've already taken my pain meds. So she had to put me in a wheelchair and push me over, which did her shoulder no good that she had operated on. So.
Yeah, I wasn't even supposed to be pushing him at that time.
Where's our son, Oregod?
He's in bed on Granny's blanket.
Oh, Oreo, yeah.
The macaroni salad's made for tomorrow. I just got to throw it in the refrigerator.
Yep. I'm sure it will be excellent.
Yeah, because it's my grandmother's recipe.
Yeah, I've eaten your grandma's recipe. I didn't have any complaints about it. So, ladies and gentlemen, remember, 2017, Doctor Who was Roont. Yeah, oh, that's right. Does anyone know what happened to the Irish guy? Because I noticed that the TARDIS Zone official channel, somebody showed me this, it's been renamed or no longer there one. And I'm like, now it's being called what, the Knoll Zone or something. Did the BBC finally come down and say no? Oh well. Oh well, it don't matter. The show is in no danger at this point of being canceled. Even if Disney says no third year, it's the BBC's decision to cancel Doctor Who. The worst thing that's going to happen is there's going to be a whole lot of budget cuts, and they're going to have to move everything back to Bad Wolf, which would be a good thing. No, I mean, back to Rothlock from Bad Wolf, because I have people everywhere but Bad Wolf. We make them talk. All right, that was creepy. All right. Well, I've been on here longer than I thought, so please, everyone, take care of yourselves and each other. Be kind, be calm, be safe. War Between the Land and the Sea already filming. If you are not, the only reason I stay on the X, the artist formerly known as Twitter, is because Doctor Who Filming Productions is on there. And they were at the latest rounds of filming. So if you want more info on that, it's there. Or go to Doctor Who Production News. No, Doctor Who Filming Location and Doctor Who Production News. Sorry. I got my thing screwed up. So Doctor Who Filming Locations, Doctor Who Production News. Look for those two. They're the ones who know what they're talking about, okay? Take care, everyone. I got to run. Be kind, be calm, be safe. Watch out for each other. And September 11th, we are back in the parking lot. So we'll probably see you then. Take care, everybody. Let's see if I can find the button this time. Oh, there it is. Push the button, Frank.